Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today I'm doing my first goalie tips video for NHL 18. Now, not a lot has changed from 17, so most of the same tips will apply, but there are some new moves that the skaters got that they're no fun for the goalie, and we might cover those in a later video, but I just want to go over the basic tips and tricks that you should be looking out for in EASHL and 3s as the goalie. So we're going to start off with general gameplay first, and I can't stress this enough, but be more centered in your net than you think. You don't have to challenge the shooter wildly. The most you'll have to do is when the skater's in the slot, and that's to the top edge of the crease, or even at the point in the top edge of the crease, but you don't have to wildly challenge the guy. Next, hit butterfly only when you know that the shot is coming or if there's a scramble in front of your net. Now, usually you can tell a shot is coming if a player winds up for a slap shot or they do a pullback for a wrist shot. However, with the wrist shot, you have to be careful because better players will fake a shot and pass right around you if you bite way too hard. This next thing is more team communication than anything, but if you see somebody open, say in the slot or back door, let your defense know about it. It is the worst thing when you give up a goal because of poor defense, and it's not really the goalie's fault if you can't do much about it. So in order for you to make as many saves as possible, let your defense know what isn't being covered. Next, don't overuse the desperation saves. Just because you have them in your arsenal doesn't mean you should use them all the time. The ones that I found to be the least effective are the 2-pad stack and the diving desperation save. These aren't to say you shouldn't use desperation saves at all. However, these two in particular are the worst, and I do not recommend using them because the diving desperation save almost never actually saves the puck, and the 2-pad stack can be useful on breakaways, but that's really about it. This next one comes for post play, but you should not use the stand-up or VH over. You shouldn't overuse them. You should generally try and use the reverse VH. However, if the players are at a tight angle and above the goal line, or even a little bit below the goal line in the corner, I will use the stand-up post hug a lot, because that way I can stay standing, but I can also make sure that they don't bank it in off of me. Lastly, for actual gameplay, don't predict where the shot is going. You don't have to move into the shot. A mistake a lot of goalies make, and one that I for certain made a lot when I started out, was whenever the shot came, I would move as soon as they shoot it, and I would try and move into the shot. However, that's really just a prediction game, and you don't actually know where they're going to shoot. So if you guess wrong, then you are way out of position, because momentum in this game carries you, and if you get caught while they shoot, then it's bad news bears for you. You're most likely going to give up a goal. So don't try and predict where they are shooting. As long as you are in good position and you are square to the shooter, you will save the puck most of the time. Now on to settings. The controls that you want to be using, I like to use default controls. Those are what I use. These are the new gen controls. However, this is just a comfort thing, and if you enjoy the last gen controls, then go for it. But for me, it's a personal thing that I like the next gen controls better than the last gen, because that's just my natural way of thinking. But it is just a comfort thing, so whatever you are comfortable with, use it. Next, make sure your precision default is on. This is, again, more of a preference thing. You can leave it off if you want. There are a ton of top goalies that don't have this on. But if you have it off, that means you have to hold down your precision modifier all the time when you want to be in precision. I like to be able to always be in precision and only press the precision modifier when I need a T-push. But if you would like to keep this off, I certainly did for a little while, but I changed it at the beginning of 17 just because it felt more natural. I just recommend giving it a try on and off and see what you like better. One thing people almost never talk about in their goalie tutorials are the human goalie sweeps and the human goalie covers. Now, personally, I like to keep these at default because I don't really have an issue with them. It's very rare that I actually give up a goal because of these. However, if you are annoyed by these settings, basically it means the goalie will cover it for you. You don't have to press the Y or triangle button to lunge out and cover the puck. I like to have these on just because I know I would keep forgetting to press the cover up. Plus, I just like to have it done for me. Since I've done so much work to actually stop the shot, now I just want to cover it. But again, it is up to personal preference. And lastly, your camera settings are probably the most important setting you will come across in your goalie career here. You generally only want to cycle between 3, maybe 4 cameras, and the 3 that you want to cycle through and find out which one you like most, you should be looking at high, fixed, and overhead. Now, sometimes you can use zone. I've experimented with it before and it's not half bad, although I don't recommend using it because overhead is an easy substitute for it, and overhead is really nice as well. I personally used fixed, and so do a lot of other goalie YouTubers you'll see, like Crease Police and John Lall. But I used to use overhead for a while, and I also used to use high for a while, and it's really whatever feels most comfortable for you. Now, there are pros and cons to every single one. Like on overhead, you can see the ice like a player would, however you lose your angles easier. Fixed is kind of a hybrid between high and overhead, which is why I like it. You don't lose track of your angles as easily, and you can see the entire ice. However, behind the net, the camera shifts, and I don't really like that a whole bunch. Now, they all have their pros and cons, but generally I like to teeter-totter between fixed and overhead. High is still good, however, I just generally stay between those two. But then again, it's also all up to personal preference. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Hope you learned something out of it. I'm going to be doing more of these in the next week or so. And then once NHL 18 comes out, I will finally finish up this series. But I hope you all enjoyed. Please rate, comment, and subscribe. Drop a like down below. And I will see you guys all in the next video. Take care, and goodbye.